Hello, Assalamualaikum. Welcome to lecture week 9, which is planning and property development process. Okay, basically, this is very important as a valuer. As you can see that, when you say about the planning and property development process is actually really, is a must as a property valuer, because whenever you learn about the property planning, okay, this is the ultimate work if you are in the property development companies. So we move on to what is the outline for today. Okay, for property development concept, normally that you will do this market analysis and also the feasibility study. And what you can see is that when you are doing this, you are needed to know what is the layout plan and design, the planning permission, the pre and construction stage, what are the marketing and sales, and at the end is the completion and handling over. Okay, the thing is that from the planning, the development up to the end is actually the whole process for the feasibility study. Okay, first of all, we need to know what is the property development concept. Okay, in a way that what we can see from here, all right, the property development is the process needs to be undertaken before any development takes place, applicable to all type of property development, housing, commercial, industrial, etc. Okay, now what you can see is that we know that the land consists of three categories, which is agriculture, industry, and also building category. Now, if you have a vacant land, now I want you to visualize. Okay, if you have first agriculture land, what you can do as a property developer, you will visualize that you can do wonders with the land, right? So at the end, what you can do is that with the proper concept here, the property development concept, what you want to do as a sketch, okay, you need to do a replan, a master strategy, what you want to do. But at the end, from the master plan that you do, it will become up to be like a proper layout plan like this. Okay, as a property valuer, whatever it is, you must know what is the GDV, correct? Do you know what is GDV? This is gross development value, because from the gross development value will ensure that whether or not you're going to have a good project, a break-even project, or a negative project. But I believe that if you can relate to the property market right now, maybe the market is not so good, but at the end, it will be saleable with a proper marketing. Okay, that's where you need to know before embarking onto this master plan, onto this, the proper layout, a market study and feasibility study is a must. Okay, prior of doing this, that's where the the land use planning is important, is essential. Okay, now next, here is the property development process. You can see that there's a lot of process here. In Malaysia, it was saying that, okay, we have almost like more than 10 of the preparation that you need to do. Okay, this is a step by step when you want to start your property development. First of all, you must get the instruction to develop, whether or not you are act on behalf of a developer or you as a developer. Okay, prior to embark onto property development process, obviously that you need to do the market study. Market study is important before you start. Okay, now here I believe that you heard about the property bubbles for year 2018, and if you read into the papers or maybe into the news, okay, people are saying that for year 2018 the property market is going to be crash, because there are a lot of property is not sale, it's not cannot be sale, or there's no takers, especially for property above than 500k, and mostly condominiums. Why is that? Because there's no proper market study being done. Okay, And I believe that if you read from the papers or maybe from the opinion from other property industry saying that, okay, the market study normally the developer is liaise more onto engineers and architect. But who are they? Are they really know about the property market? No, right? Obviously, we, the valuers, the property agents know more about the market. We know about the people behavior. So, if you can see that the gluts that we have now, because they didn't do all these steps. Plus, they didn't engage the right person, who is you, the professional property valuer. Alright, so from the market study, obviously that, okay, what you want to know from the market study is more on how much the property can be sold, or what kind of the market driven, or maybe the supply or the demand. Here we can, there's a lot of variable here, yeah. The variable may consist of what is the employment, which is the economic variable, what are the physical, maybe from the infrastructure, or maybe from who are the residents around there. Okay, if orang kampung, probably that they don't need so much on the condominiums because they cannot rear the chicken in the flats, right? So they are not keen unless the property is located in Kuala Lumpur when the land is scarce. But if the land is located only in Pirate Raja, I don't think that flats or condominium is favorable to many, because in Pirate Raja, people still, the behavior of the people still, they want to grow durians, right? So here the market study, you must know who is your client, not the developer, but who is gonna buy your property. Okay, and then next will be the identification of site. Okay, obviously most of the property developer would love the flat land, isn't it? Because they will not incur a lot of cost. Okay, now I want you to visualize for identification of site. Okay, in Pirate Raja you can see a lot of flat land, right? Okay, but does it suitable to be developed? Now I want you to think. Okay, for Pirate Raja, mostly the land is under the peatland, PEAT, which is tanah gambut. Tanah gambut is not suitable enough to do property development or more than 5-story buildings, because the composition of the land is not suitable enough to put a lot of weight. Okay, but maybe for LPTP, but you can see that in the long run it's gonna be a problem. Okay, maybe it start with crack and everything, but I think that when with a proper construction or maybe foundation prior to the building started, then it will minimize the problem. Okay, then next will be the feasibility study. So what is the difference between market study and feasibility study? Here, in market study, you tend to learn on if the area is good enough to develop, isn't it? But for feasibility study, based on the market study that you did, okay, this feasibility study will determine whether or not the property will gain enough, or the GDV, the gross development value, GDV, is positive enough, the cash flow is good, and the take-up rate is higher. Okay, because all of this will goes back to the property development process and whether or not the property is good area. Okay, now then after that, the preparation of the layout plan. Now from the battle of the city that we did, okay, everything is that in the plan, or you are planning whether it's a good city or not based on the based on your imagination, and whether or not it confirm with the sustainable city or smart city or safe city or whatnot, or maybe just a city, or maybe university city. Alright, okay, Now, for the preparation of layout plan, obviously that if you can see from the previous slide here, this is the layout plan. Okay, the layout plan on where to put your commercial building or maybe residential building, or where would be the green areas. Okay, because like this, I think that the yellow one, maybe the green areas is only in the middle in compared to the residential or maybe the commercial area. So here you can see that, you know, there's a lot of possibilities. And from our visit to Majlis Perbandaran Batu Pahat last time, okay, you can see that whether or not the layout plan is confirmed with the zoning which is replicated under the majlis punya planning, the land use planning. Okay, then after that it goes to the application for planning permission. Okay, if you already done your market study and your feasibility study and you find the site, the good site, okay, and also the preparation of the layout plan, you need to submit your plan and application to the planning office or Majlis Perbandaran Batu Pahat. Okay, under the Majlis Perbandaran Batu Pahat here, okay, from the planning permission, there are 7 or 10 officers that will approve on your plan. For example, there we go to the building department, here we go to planning department, valuation department, engineering department, drainage, road and drainage department. Okay, and after that the committee will decide whether or not your your application will be successful or unsuccessful. If it's unsuccessful, then you have to appeal back and then maybe to do some rectification on this above process. Okay, but if this is successful, okay, you can see that, you know, the preparation for project development, then voila, the development will start. Okay, and then appointment of professional team. Professional team here consists of all the engineers, the architect, all the QS, and all the contractors, the reliable one, because here from this process, starting from the first one to at the end, okay, for landed properties normally we take about 2 years, okay, because there is a time limit. Once the application for planning permission is approved on this part, okay, once it's approved for landed properties up to the completion or maybe the issuance of CFO or CCC, okay, so it will take about 2 years to complete for landed properties and 3 years for strata properties. You must remember that. Breach onto that means that is a failure to the project, or what we can call it as an abandon. Okay, now, so this is like the whole process for property development process, and at the same time there is a marketing, sales, and handing over for vacant possession when the property is completed with the property has been issued with CFO, Certificate of Fitness to Occupy the Building. Now, in this property development process, as a valuer, your task will be more on the market study and feasibility study and identification of site. So basically, you are involved from the very beginning of the process, okay, and maybe during the construction is not so much, but when it start to being successful, you can see from this arrow here, you will start to do a marketing, the sales and marketing, okay, and you will be there until the property is handed over for vacant possession. Okay, so even though you will not do even a scoop of land or a one brick even, but your task is start from the very beginning up to the end. It's all based on your master plan. Okay, I really want you to know this, because when you want to embark onto property development company, this is the process that you need to go through, okay, especially on this one. So from now, I want you to know what is your strength, whether you are good in research, this is property research, or you are good in marketing. Okay, from now, try to investigate what is your expertise or your skills. We move to the next on the market analysis. Okay, of doing this, I want you to really apply all this in your task. Okay, before starting any project, the developer must know what he intends to do and how he plans to go about it. Everything goes back to the master plan, what he wants to do. And then he is better equipped when he has definite facts in hand. Okay, fact in hand meaning to say, okay, if the property there, okay, first of all, he need to know how much is the land value. He needs to know how much is the property can be sold, either single story or double story or whatnot. Okay, and then he also needs to know what type of property is favorable to the users or to the buyers, because the property can only be successful when somebody is buying your property. You don't want to just bid a property and then just leave it be like a gajah putih, isn't it? Okay, because there is no room for mistake here, because any property development incur a lot of costs, right? Okay, then he has to know what procedures and blah blah blah. Okay, the prospective buyer, everything. So on and on and on. This is the thing that he know. This is part of the information for the market analysis. Okay, once he has determined the market demand, his next problem would be finding the site to fit in the market. Okay, now if your market is university, as I said, okay, everything is either through the near the university. The property demand is always about whether you are in the urban areas, near to, or second, near to any infrastructure like highways or HSR or MRT, or if your property is located within the education. Now, we goes back to now visualize that your property, UTHM as an education hub. Okay, so what are the driven demand or demand driven for your property? Whether or not the property surrounding UTHM or maybe in the 30-kilometer radius to Batu Pahat or Air Hitam or Yong Ping, whether this area is gonna be and whether or not this area is going to be increased because of UTHM. So that is where the market analysis is important. Alright? Okay. And then what is the kind of development which would be most appropriate? Okay. Here again, as I said, if there is a lot of vacant land or agricultural land in Pirate Raja, would people would love to stay in strata development? I'm not so sure. Okay. Alright. Okay. Right. I will continue after this. Thank you.